This right here, this is the Pestilence.
Kelso moves through midnight air. City lights don't know she's there. Sneaking shadow, silent flare. Pranks and chaos everywhere. Across the rooftops, quick and light. Her every step a silent ride. The system's eyes, they blink and miss. A play.
Did I just respawn again? What's going on, Dags? If you're new to your channel, welcome to Die Again Gaming. I'm your host, Nox, where my favorite thing to do is respawn. It's not because I'm good. So for today's video, it's going to be a little bit different than my normal types of videos. I'm going to take different gear sets and pair it up with the Pestilence, because I do love the Pestilence, and who doesn't? It has the Plague of the Outcast, probably the best talent in the game. And specifically in this video, I'm going to give you my review with the Virtuoso gear set with the Pestilence and what I think about it and if it's good or not. Spoilers, if you don't care for this gear set and don't want to waste your time, I wouldn't run the Virtuoso gear set. And I'm going to cover how the Turmoil knee pads are going to be required to kind of get the biggest bang out of this set to work with the Pestilence. And if you don't have the Turmoil knee pads, don't worry, the devs did announce that they are going to redrop them. And also I have a variant where you can use the contractor gloves instead of the Turmoil knee pads as well. All right, before we continue the video, here's today's community shout out. Today's community shout out is Mick Wayne. A little bit about Mick Wayne is that he does play on the PS5, PC. He lives in Rage. He's always live. He puts out a bunch of different guides. If you need scout missions, you need to get the masks, he got them. McWayne is a UK player, as you can see. Here's all his social media links, so make sure to give them a like. He's actually live right now, so let's give him a little, let's go pop in real quick and say hello. Like I've been saying, support the community, give them a like, drop a comment whenever you see them live. Or if you watch one of his guide videos, make sure you like it and drop a comment if you used it. That way you support his channel. And once again, here it is, Mick Wayne. Alrighty, Dags, here is my honest review with the Virtuoso gear set with the Pestilence. It is not horrible. The gear set does sport some really good benefits, but I feel like you're adding steps to get to the outcome that you desire. And when it comes to the Pestilence, these steps are kind of not necessary, because you do get like bonus armor, bonus headshot damage. And normally when you're playing an old red Pestilence build, you don't want to be close and personal to enemies, so those stats are kind of meh. Don't get me wrong, they are nice, but they are not needed for a Pestilence build. The whole goal of Pestilence builds is just to go grata-ta-ta, light up the map, get the Plague of the Outcast stacked up and have it do its thing. And when you compare my normal Pestilence build to the Virtuoso Pestilence build, I don't think the damage trade-off is worth it for the bonus armor and some headshot damage. Like for my normal Pestilence build, it's just blah, it's right there, the damage is always there. But for the Virtuoso, it's kind of like blah, blah, blah versus blah. Now you got the blah. I don't know, does it make sense? Like you could go for a regular Pestilence build and just do good damage off the rip, or you got the Virtuoso that's kind of, you know, builds up, but it never gets up to here. It's always going to be just, you know, it's good damage, but it's never going to be super good damage. So that is why I say that the Virtuoso set is a no-go for me. Disclaimer again, I'm not saying that the Virtuoso gear set is not good at all. It might work for other guns, but not for the Pestilence, and those are my 2 cents. So take that with a grain of salt, because what I think does not matter, because it's going to be up to you, what you think. And just always play the game how you want, play the builds that you want, use the gear sets, use the brand sets that you want, because it is your game, and you're the only one to decide how you have fun in this game. Don't listen to me, it's just my 2 cents. But either way, let me show you some damage numbers at their range, and then we'll get into the build breakdown.
The hunters chase, but they'll never find her trace. Through the alley she escapes, always leaving without a trace. Their comes are filled with static buzz. She dances where the signal was. Nowhere she goes, oh nobody knows. She's a ghost in techno clothes. Laughter echoes in the night. Kelso's dancing out of sight. A digital mirage, a fleeting vibrant hue.
Alrighty, Dags, here is the build for solo gameplay. We're going to have the gunner specialization. Of course, we got the Pestilence with the talent Plague of the Outcast. We got the mop. We got the TDI card custom for the +1 skill. And this works really well with the Precision Smart Cover, because all you have to do is whip out the TDI card, get that +1 skill. You can get a couple of kills as well if you have the Future Perfect. And then when you pull out the Smart Cover, it's going to stay at whatever skill tier it was when it was placed. So say you're at skill tier 5, it's going to stay skill tier 5 even when you swap over back to the Pestilence. And this is a super easy way how to get at least +1 skill tier on your precision smart cover. For the gear set, we're going to have the 4 pieces of the Virtuoso. It does have a really good 2-piece and 3-piece with the weapon handling, magazine size, and weapon damage. And then the way this works, I'm not going to really get into it, but you pretty much have to interweave your kills. And it's pretty easy to do so with the Pestilence, just the way how the Plague of the Outcast works. And if you are running the Turmoil kneepads, it's going to make it even easier to get those kills into different ranges. And while this does add a lot of damage, it is also a bottleneck to this build because you're never going to be at constantly maxed out damage. You're going to have to constantly over and over again build back up to maximum damage versus if you have another build where you're just going to constantly have the same damage over and over again. But with that being said, you do get some other additional stats. You do get bonus armor and you do get headshot damage as well. And to be fair, when you're playing solo on heroic and below content, it might be okay to have the bonus armor, but honestly, for these type of Pestilence builds, I don't think these additional stats of the bonus armor and headshot damage is worth it running this gear set. And for the backpack, I have the backbone. It comes with the perfect unstoppable force, double crit. And then I have the Turmoil knee pads. It comes double crit. And it has the bewildered talent, which splits up your damage within 30 meters. And a cool thing about the secondary target is going to take double dipping from damage to target out of cover and amplify damage sources. So the damage to target out of cover on the Pestilence and the damage to target out of cover from the precision smart cover is actually going to double dip to the secondary target of the bewildered talent. And like I said, the bewildered talent is going to make it easier to get those kills in the different ranges. Skills, I got the precision smart cover and I have the reviver hive, but you really don't need the reviver hive. You can just put whatever you want. For the mods, I'm not going to be using the active, but for the passive modifiers, I have the multitasker to give me that +1 skill, some weapon damage. We got more damage here and we got even more damage here. And you could also run tech upgrades. This is another really good passive modifier. Stat wise, we're sitting at 54% critical hit chance, 117 critical hit damage, 85% headshot damage. But those will go up once our passive modifiers come online. Our armor is pretty doo-doo, but we do get 74,000 armor on kill to help us stay alive. So this is the loadout for playing solo. Now let me show you the loadout if you want to play in a group. All we're going to do is put on contractor gloves. We're going to take off these bad boys. We're going to put on another, and that's pretty much it for group play. All we do is swap 2 pieces around. We're going to have the contractor gloves and we're going to have the knee pads are now going to be the Virtuoso. And this right here is going to give us a really big damage boost when we're playing in a group. You can even run this solo if you don't have the Turmoil knee pads or don't care for the Turmoil knee pads. And with this loadout, our Plague of the Outcast ticks are actually going to hit for over 2 million, which is pretty nutty. So just kind of mix and match how you want. You could also put on the Fox's per knee pads if you prefer. And if you don't have this backpack, it's not 100% required. You could just swap this out for whatever you have that you want to run, like a Cheska, a Grupo, a Walker Harris. Talent as well, you can run the normal unstoppable force, or you can run something like Vigilance. You could also put on a Patra backpack if you don't want to run the contractor gloves. And this is going to allow you to run like the Fox's prayers if you want to do damage to target out of cover instead. So you got options. This right here is just going to be the biggest bang for the buck. Alrighty, Dags, these are the 2 loadouts that I tested this season. Just like the other seasons, I am not impressed with this loadout. This gear set's pretty cool and all that and whatnot. And in my honest opinion, you're doing too much with this to do less damage than a regular, Pestilence build. But I will say that this loadout right here is a whole lot easier to farm for than a fully optimized Pestilence build. Like, you could literally, craft these or run countdown and get all these pieces really quick. Minus for like the backbone, it might take you a while to get. And like if you want to run a normal Pestilence build, you could run something like this. This is what I normally run with the Turmoil knee pads. Or you could just run it with the Fox's per knee pads if you want to do more damage and don't have the Turmoil knee pads. Either or, it's both are going to be really good knee pads. But farming for the other lane more pieces, because they do naturally come with blue cores, you're going to have to find a double red and re-roll it. The same thing with the headpiece. I got double crit, so I was lucky with that. And then for the chest piece, I got the sacrifice with double crit. Contractor's gloves, we got the backbone double crit. And you could run something like this as well. With the, I don't have a double crit chest piece, but I do have headshot damage, critical hit chance, so it's not horrible with glass cannon. And what this is going to allow you to do is to run a exotic. So if you want to run something like a, the Catalyst or Coyote's Mask or whatever, you can do that. I know another popular one is the Centurion holster. You can run that as well. But for the most part, I like running my Pestilence builds to do a lot of tick damage with the Plague of the Outcast. And that's why I say I don't think it's worth it running this gear set at all this season, because you're doing too many steps to do less damage than a regular Pestilence build. And I'm sure that this gear set will work with other guns, but I wouldn't run it with the Pestilence. Alright, well, Dags, that's my 2 cents about this gear set. I am still not going to be running it. I did test it out. I did run a couple control points. I did run a couple missions, a stronghold with this gear set. And honestly, it's too much work just to do less damage, like I said, than a normal Pestilence build. Don't get mesmerized by, all that extra raw weapon damage, because after a while, adding a little bit more weapon damage is just not really going to add as much as you think it will. I can see this gear set working in a tanky build where you're going to be up close and personal with the enemies, because the bonus armor is going to help and the headshot damage is going to be really useful too, especially if you could get close and personal to the enemy. Alrighty, Dags, so that was my whole little spiel with the Virtuoso gear set with the Pestilence. So let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or disagree with me. And it's alright, because I did not test out every single variation to make this gear set work. And I'm pretty positive there might be a loadout out there that's going to do really, really well. I just don't know it. So hopefully you guys know it and you can share it with the community. And if you guys made it this far, make sure to like the video. And if you're not yet subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe. It'll really help out the channel. That's all for now, and next video I'm going to break down Strikers and the Pestilence.